should be live.
Yay. Time to receive the infamous notification from the worst channel. Yep, we did. Time to...
Cool, confirm that we're live. Thank you, Jono. Are you playing along with the song, Jono?
No, I'm just...
Oh, okay. I thought you were playing
I can.
introduction.
Here we have... No, fucking...
All right, greetings, everybody. Welcome to Monstercast number 59, the last one of the year. So, how is everybody? How was your...
decade, too. Last one of the year and the last one of the decade.
Last one of the decade. That's right.
Yeah, because it's
How about
after
that?
this, it's going to be the next day. It's going to be the 2020s.
Ooh. All right. I think I need to update something. So how was your time off? If you had holidays over there? Oh boy, that's a quick catch. Nice one, Jono.
My holiday was okay.
Good. Did you guys have some time off over there?
Yeah. I had a lot more than I expected. In fact, I actually wanted a little bit less time off because I need a little extra money to pay for the Christmas presents.
Was everybody happy, Gargamel?
Well, I'm pretty happy, but I would like a little more money.
For sure. I think we can all attest to that. Alrighty, how about you other guys? Your side of the world. How's it been going? You guys have cold weather out there?
Yeah, today's been pretty cold, even though we've been having hot days in the last few days. Tomorrow I am leaving for the snowy mountains. I'm happy.
So, over at your side of the world, how cold does it get at this time of year, Jono?
Well, today it was 7 or 8 degrees, but can get even to 2, 1, 0, but it's rare, at least where I do live, to getting snow, etc. In northern Italy, I think at the moment it's like -1, -2.
Oh, wow.
Depends.
Okay, so...
Yeah, I think here in California, it's even less likely to get snow in Southern California.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought your area was more like Southern California, Jono. Since you're at the south end of Italy, I thought...
Sicily is pretty hot.
But you said it gets down to 1 degree over there, where you're at?
Yeah, but no, not these days. Actually, like yesterday, it was 20 degrees. Yeah, yesterday I was just in my t-shirt.
Oh, okay, I see.
Damn global warming.
Gotcha. Alrighty. So today we're going to be talking about monsters of the decade. Next time we'll be talking about scary winter monsters. Let's clarify that. So monsters of the decade, speaking of, and what basically the ones that influenced or impacted you the most from 2010 to 2019. So if you don't have anything ready, look it up now. You have a moment. I'm going to pop out the YouTube chat here. And there we go. I put everybody onto the wheel of torture. Looks like Beth already left. She wasn't feeling good. So here we go. By the way, congratulations to Pro. I believe he just hit 91, level 91 here on Discord. I think that's our highest Discord leveled member. So congrats on that, Pro. Nothing like that gets unnoticed. He's on his way to 100.
Congrats, bro.
For sure. And that's pretty much all this Discord too, as Pro's been pretty what's the word, committed to this Discord as well as Griffo's Discord and maybe another one, but he's been here.
Yeah, he's always active on other Discord.
He is. He's incredibly active. So thank you for that, Pro, and congrats on that. He does have a voice today. I did catch that, but he's not going to use it. That's how powerful he is until later. I will be on it in a bit. Cool. So Chris will be here in a little bit. Sorry about that, Pro. Had to give it out. Had to give you away. What else? That's it, I believe. If nobody has anything to share that's happened to them over the last 2 weeks or so, then we'll start with these monsters of the decade. It's going to be interesting. Should I have to go? See it dissolve. Hit dissolve. If you have a monster to mention, go ahead and mention it now. We'll get started.
Yes, go. Yeah, or she. So let's say
He's
they
dissolving.
are gone.
They already left. Okay. I'll be sure to take them off the wheel. Okay. So, let's begin this party. Monsters of the decade. Which one impacted you the most? I know for sure I'm going to be hearing about one big one, but hopefully not more than once. Let's see if this can get interesting. Or will
You're
get
talking
interesting.
about Godzilla?
I have said nothing of the sort. And we are spinning. We are spinning, everybody. You are all tied up to the wheel. And yeah. Here we go. Gargamel. Gargamel's first. You are free off the wheel. We untie you, Gargamel.
X from the Resident Evil 2 remake.
Ooh. Mr.
Because not only did he scare me in the game when he was chasing me around, but he created the whole X Gun Give It To You meme with a bunch of YouTube videos where they have the song X Gun Give It To You playing in the background. They show a bunch of YouTubers reacting to encountering Mr. X and Mr. X beating them up.
Nice. And that is indeed influential or impactful for the decade and the year.
You still haven't heard of cazzo corriscappa c'è il Nemesis. That's real lore.
Well, Nemesis, the Resident Evil 3 Nemesis game remake has not been released yet.
Yeah, no. There's this like 10 years old YouTube video where two Italians seeing something that goes like, oh shit, around there's the Nemesis. Yeah, it's a popular meme here.
So it's Mr. X, right?
Yeah, Mr. X, and specifically the one from the Resident Evil 2 remake.
Yeah.
The most recent one.
Alrighty. How many people here have finally played that game?
I think Pro played it, but like got bored.
Gargamel or whoever has played it, have you guys played the original Resident Evil?
Not me.
I've played the original Resident Evil and the original Resident Evil 2, but I've never been able to beat them. I did beat the remake, though, of Resident Evil 2, which is the one I'm specifically talking about now. We should look up the Mr. X so you get the X Gun Give It To You meme.
So, question for you guys that have played both. In which one was the overall effect of the scariness of Mr. X chasing you scarier? Including his appearance, everything. Of course, you were younger at the time, so that's not necessarily a fair question. So let's narrow it down to himself, Mr. X. Where do you think he was freakier? Where do you think his design was overall a better conception, etc.? Pro didn't like 2 as much as 1. What do you think, Gargamel? Since you were
Mr. X was not in number 1. He was only in the He only came in the sequel.
I see. Okay, that's why nobody's speaking up.
In the original Resident Evil 2, he actually wasn't in there until the B scenarios, but in the remake, he's in both scenarios.
Alrighty then. Anything else anyone wants to add to Mr. X? What would you guys say is his height estimation? Is he like over 7 feet? Is he like a 9-foot giant kind of thing? Or Pro says, I'd say the original, despite me not playing the original Resident Evil 2, because Mr. X in the original, he was more of a mystery and curveball. Don't expect. Right. Yeah, by this point, you expected them. Yeah, I can definitely see that. We got Corpse that joined us. Not sure who that is. Oh, that might be the first time this person has joined a Monstercast. So, greetings, everybody. Greetings, Darth. Greetings, Gargamel. Greetings, Elithid Sid. Greetings, JMPF. Greetings, Jono. Greetings, Corpse. If it is your first time, that's a big deal. So, we welcome you here. We're always glad to have someone new here. And greetings to Pro. Gargamel just shared his first Monster of the Decade, which was Mr. X from the Resident Evil 2 remake. And let's see if we can see this. Is this one of the memes? Memes? There he is. Alright, so he looks like maybe a 7-foot stature, maybe a little shorter. More or less. And there's Deal. Greetings, Deal. Welcome, welcome. All right. Let's take Gargamel off the wheel. Thank you, Gargamel, for sharing. Let's add Corpse. That's a great name. Especially with the different spelling. And then Dio. We'll add Dio. Dio, if you're going to leave early, just let us know, please, ahead of time. If you're going to disappear, Pro, the same. Or anybody else.
No. Pro doesn't leave. He lives here.
We'll see. We'll see if he stands up to the pressure. And here we go. The wheels down to Illithid and down to Pro. Speaking of Pro, speaking of the devil, here you go, Pro. He's available all night. And he called you honey.
Cheap prices, I think.
I'm available. All right, so Pro. Who or
I already know who this is going to be. We all know.
Do we? Let's see if he beat you to it. All right, Pro's going to be sharing. I'm going to read on his behalf. Oh, C's here. I'm going to add C. Welcome, C. Greetings.
What is today's topic? I keep forgetting that.
Monsters of the decade. So monsters that impacted you the most from the decade.
Oh.
The whole decade. 2010 to 2019. That's quite a long timeline. I wasn't even
I mean,
really
it's
prepared.
a decade. It's literally about a half of my life.
Interesting. True. I kept thinking monsters of 2019 that impacted you, but the decade, that's pretty significant. All right, here's jump off the bridge. Okay, Pro's warming up there. Pro's typing. He's an Australian typing. All right. How you doing, C?
I'm pretty good.
Wonderful.
I have missed a few of the last Monstercast due to busyness and
Well, I missed a
bad
couple of them,
organization
too.
on my part.
No worries. It all gets to us. Luckily, we have enough people on this Discord and people that want to jump into these that we are always occupied with a nice
Hello,
group.
Chris.
And Chris is here.
Hello.
Greetings, Chris.
Guten Abend.
And how you doing?
Pretty good, actually. I've had a lovely set of holidays so far. I'm feeling good about myself.
That sounds good.
How have you all been?
Good. So far, so good, it seems. I've been doing all right.
I've been fine.
All right. So today, Chris, we're talking about monsters of the decade. The whole decade. Long time. So try to choose one that impacted you the most, and share it with us.
I
All
gotta
right.
say, I'm happy we're doing Monster of the Decade because I have no idea about the winter monsters.
Excellent. All right.
Well,
So, Pro says, my choice of favorite monster of the decade is Shin Godzilla. Shin Godzilla is not only a damn fine movie, but it made Godzilla scary again since the likes of the original and GMK, and solidified my love of Godzilla in general. I know there's a little bit of disagreement here among Shin Godzilla, but I agree
I
with
like
you,
Shin
Pro, on
Godzilla.
that. They did bring back a bit more of that whole fear aspect that was.
It's a giant fucking monster. You're
Yeah.
supposed to be afraid.
That's right.
Oh,
Rather
well, it
than
captures really well the I'm afraid part.
it didn't have the horrific vibe. They could have gone with a much more horrific
I
horrific
think the
vibe,
implications,
with the whole
if you
movie.
read into it, is
but
a lot worse because
they still kept the movie bright, is what I'm saying. If it be American made, Americans more, I don't want to say cliche, but if Americans took, or Hollywood took, Godzilla, Shin Godzilla as a horror movie, you would see a dark filter throughout the whole movie, different music, a whole different vibe to show you, yes, this is a horror movie. With this one, we didn't have that, and I'm very generally speaking, but with Shin
I'll
Godzilla,
be honest with
you had the horrific creature and everything happening, but you didn't have the constant vibe that sometimes it just, I don't know, it gets boring in dark and scary movies because they keep putting on that filter. They keep using that editing and filter of just dark everywhere. Everything's dark. It's daytime and it's still everything's dark. You don't get that here. It's a different movie, different kind of breed. Imagine not mentioning Godzilla 1984. That impacted me the most.
Is that what you're talking about, Arthur? I'm sorry, I missed the moment. I had to go do something.
Yeah, I was talking about Shin Godzilla.
Oh.
Anybody else?
Is that your monster of the decade?
That is for Procrastitron.
Oh.
Anybody have any questions? Anybody have seen the movie? Anybody like the movie, dislike the movie?
We all love
I
it.
haven't seen it, but I've heard some good things about it. The Godzilla design, from what I have seen, though, looks pretty terrifying.
yeah.
It's certainly
Well,
different.
Terrifying is not the word I'd use. I saw the movie. Loved the movie. Movie is great.
If you
The
call it
design looks
fucking
dumb.
adorable, Chris, I'm going to send you
No.
my
No.
It's not adorable.
Psychologist.
It's not adorable. It's not adorable. It's retarded. I don't like it.
Okay, guys, I liked Shin Godzilla. It was a good return to trope with the giant monster rampaging through
agree.
Tokyo.
I fully
mean,
agree. The movie was
it's-
great, but the design looks stupid to me.
No, that's the thing, you see. It's supposed to look weird out there. It's not supposed to be like a defined creature,
He's
like
not
we have seen
supposed to-
before, like Godzilla evolved into a ginormous reptile. No, this was a freak of nature, a literal what's it called? An impossible creature.
Good boy, see.
That was nothing like what we knew.
Right.
But he doesn't look scary weird to me, just stupid weird to me.
All right, guys.
Are we talking specifically about his first forms, or are we talking about...
All of them.
Second floor.
We won't draw too long on this argument because we have had it on the Monstercast at least once before. It was Chris and Pro this time. Today, ding, 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 we have Chris and C on it. So, it's mostly Chris. Does anybody, well, in that factor, does anybody else agree with Chris that you just don't like what they did with the conception, the look of Shin Godzilla? Anybody in that
I'm
boat?
pretty sure that just like with my opinion that I hate Pikachu, I'm the only person here.
I
Alright.
mean, Pikachu is
No,
a
no.
host of many opinions.
Okay,
I
so
don't care about Pokemon, so
for me, Shin Godzilla reminds me, if you guys know Attack on Titan is a pretty awesome anime and manga. But it's like Godzilla merged with Attack on Titan almost. That's what Shin Godzilla comes off as. With a lot more radiation and superpower. I think we'll move on to the next one. We've talked about Shin a bit, and I'm sure we're going to in the future. He's an easy topic to draw into. I would like to see the movie again. Who here has not seen the movie Shin Godzilla?
I have not.
Who? Jono, you haven't?
No, of course. I
Okay,
don't. I
okay,
watched
okay,
it like
okay.
10 times.
Good. JMPF, cool.
I
Check it
haven't
out.
watched it.
I'll have to check it out again as well. Okay, now thoughts on a part 2. Is there going to be a part 2? Yes, no, maybe so.
No, they canceled it. They said that they are not going to.
Cancelled, no. All right. Let's see what happens.
There's no need for it. Yeah, probably.
You're afraid they're going to screw it up.
What I always say is that there's no need for a direct sequel. I just want to see more of the design, see maybe in a more, action way. I want to see him fighting, but there's no need for Shin Godzilla 2. Anyway, Pro, the scene where the bodies are emerging from the tail, it's set in the future. So he is, defreezing anyway, and they say that the
There you go.
Shin Godzilla versus Evangelion short movie is technically set after Shin Godzilla. So can you consider that a sequel? I don't know.
Well, and there's that that you mentioned, and C posted that teaser at the end with the smaller bodies.
With something falling off, breaking
And you know
off,
what
so
they're
to
probably
speak.
going to do with that. If there's going to be a part 2, it's going to be kind of like the movie Cloverfield. You're going to have on-ground, smaller monsters attacking, and that might take away all from the whole kaiju movie and spirit of Godzilla once we get on-ground, smaller monsters, and that could indeed ruin what's so far been a good movie. So, I have a quick question. I just thought of this. With the generals in movies. What the hell did I just say? With a general question with movies. Generals with movies. So, the question is, would you prefer, for a movie that you love, as a standalone movie, no part 2, no pre-part, nothing more, just a standalone movie.
Oh yeah, the Wicker Man.
If they are to make
A standalone movie specifically of Godzilla?
No, in general. I'm speaking of a movie that you just really cherish. Would you prefer that they make a prelude movie to that, or an after or a part 2 movie, or would you prefer that they just add more cutscenes and make a prolonged version of that movie? Meaning, in this case, maybe not cutscenes that were truly cut, but added scenes. So what they do is they try to get, which is hard to do since actors age, but, well, with technology now they can. So they would get the actors and act some additional scenes and make a new version, like a collector's edition, kind of extended edition, but with completely newly acted and added scenes. Would you prefer something like that or a whole part 2?
There are. Well,
So we're
depends,
talking
of
about
course.
a movie that does not have any sequels, prequel, just a standalone movie that just exists and
Yes.
what we prefer. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yes. So we haven't really seen anything like that yet. We've seen extendeds and uncuts, but nothing with truly new stuff added in. It's just stuff that wasn't in the original release.
Stuff.
That's
shot
not
for
true,
the
Arthur.
movie?
Wait, that's not true. The Star Wars movies, Lucas remade them.
Oh, yes.
Sort of, and he added in new.
Yeah, so that's a great example. So would you guys prefer...
Original trilogy, he did that.
A bit of an out there opinion, but a standalone movie that I very much so enjoyed. And I only, 2 years after it came out, learned that people didn't like it for some reason. But, Real Steel. It was my most favorite movie at the
The
time.
robot
For the year.
fighting
Boxers,
one?
Yes. Yes, the one where Hugh Jackman boxes via robots. Love that movie.
I can see
And-
both sides of that argument.
I personally wouldn't mind possibly seeing a prequel that shows how the human fights started becoming more and more vicious, but couldn't really go into the proper murder and how the robots are first being introduced into the
Gotcha.
setting. Or, but honestly, I wouldn't even. But that's as far as I'd go. I think that movie ended on a perfect note, and it's a complete story that doesn't need anything additional.
Okay. Okay,
I
so
mean, it could have had more robots punching robots, but maybe that's just.
true.
It
So
had
the way
enough
you're putting
robots
it,
punching
Chris,
robots.
But can a movie truly have enough robots punching robots?
When you have huge jacked man, yes.
nice.
Fair point.
So the way you're saying it, Chris, basically it depends. It depends how curious you are in the lore itself and such. Then you'd like to see a part 2 to carry on, or a pre part.
I am very much so curious in the lore, or to see how Adam possibly develops to be the proper champion. However, there's several factors that prevents me from this. The key amongst which is Hugh Jackman is old, so he wouldn't really work for a prequel, so he wouldn't be able to be present there, and a large chunk of the movie's appeal comes from Hugh Jackman.
Hmm.
And the other is in modern day, there's way too many reboots, continuations. There's very little that is original, which is why I loved Real Steel when it actually came out with something original, basically.
I don't know, it was
Right.
basically a sliced up version. I mean, Michael Bay did a version of Battleships, crying out loud.
Greetings, Rain.
And yeah, but the biggest reason is there is literally no one currently out there in Hollywood that I would trust to make a worthwhile addition to the universe, so to say.
What
So
about the
I'd rather
guy
just-
that directed Pacific Rim?
Del Toro.
Okay, if you get me Del Toro, then we can talk. But
I still want to watch a Godzilla movie by him.
Well, Del Toro is more into, monsters, like biological monsters, than he is into, like,
well, he did Pacific Rim, so Del Toro is good at everything. However, he doesn't really like to do that many sequels. Like he just does the one, I think, to just wrap up a story he couldn't tell in a single film. So I don't know if they give it to him. That's the only person, honestly, I trust in Hollywood to make good movies at this point.
So yeah, I guess I'd have to agree with you, Chris. It sort of depends on the movie and what. I was thinking, as an example, we could use the latest The Predator movie, although that has so many other parts. But if they took that movie,
I don't know
for
what you're
example,
talking about, Arthur. There was no latest The Predator movie. That movie does not exist.
I
Instead
mean,
of-
I'm sorry to say this, Chris, but ignoring something is not gonna make it go away, no matter how much
Yes, it
anyone
will.
wishes that one.
yeah, good.
Yes, it will.
I didn't think the Predator movie was that.
Oh no, I started
So
something.
now instead of continuing that movie with the next part to it, instead they re-release it with newly added scenes, taken out scenes. Kind of, this would basically be a type of project where they listen to the people or reevaluate what they created. So I was even thinking like Venom. Whatever
Oh, yeah,
you think
I
about
have
Venom,
it,
except
I
that's
have it.
hard because there's going to be a part 2 of Venom no matter what, because it's a superhero movie. But what if they modified that, kept the good stuff, listened to the fans, took out the bad stuff, and added more of a serious
Well,
tone
good
or
and bad
whatever?
is largely subjective, Arthur, and no matter what changes they made, they'd be bound to take at least some people off.
True.
There's no avoiding that.
That's why I brought up the fans, and then you have the
Yeah, but even
ratings,
the fans
right?
don't all agree.
That's true.
Hashtag the new Sonic movie. Jesus Christ.
So
that's
basically,
not
it's a
limitation.
great way for movies that bomb to have a re-release and maybe a newfound fan base. I mean, if you release a movie and it bombs, then like I watched one that I made a rant on. I'm not going to bring it up. I don't want to bring up any more discussion. But if they revamp that, I could be a new fan of that movie. And by bombing, meaning that obviously it has a higher percentage of people not liking it, the fans and ratings. So putting the fans and ratings together, reading what fans are wanting, and kind of playing with that like a YouTuber would, but instead Hollywood and mass production, high production.
That would be a bit expensive, Arthur. I don't think it would be worth it to most Hollywood producers to do something like that.
Right.
Because it always, no matter what they did, they would always risk ticking people off, and it might be that the second release that they attempt to improve it
Mhm.
would actually bomb even worse than the first one.
That's possible too. So it wouldn't be as expensive as releasing a whole part 2, but obviously, yes, it would still be very costly. Anyway, well, let's move on, unless somebody has anything else to add to that.
If they want to quote unquote fix the Predator that the way you're saying, they'd be just better off making a brand new movie, to be honest.
Yeah.
Oh god, the Cats movie, no.
Alrighty, here we go. Spinning the wheel.
Well, that's a monster worth considering.
Cresidio, Corpse, JMPF, and Illithid. Is Illithid still with us? Yes, he is. Illithid, if you have something to share, go ahead and share it in the text. If not, then please
What I really
let
want
me...
to see now, if they want to do more Predator stuff, I want to see a new Alien versus Predator movie, but one that makes sense with in the like the Prometheus, Alien Covenant timeline, where like space and stuff.
By the way, I never got updated on that Sonic the Hedgehog video game where Sonic looks so bad. Did they finally fix that up? Was it released?
It's a movie.
Oh, yeah, the
They
movie.
fixed
Sorry,
it. He
not
looks
the
more
game.
like the original one now.
So they did fix him.
I mean, it looks more like Sonic and less like the Nightmare.
Okay, that's a big deal. They actually listen to people. That's amazing. Good on their part. And how was the movie? Was it decent?
I'm happy they did. I don't know.
Anybody seen the movie? Corpse, if you want to share today, so share which movie or which monster of the decade kind of impacted you the most, or which one was your favorite for the whole decade.
I already
Yep.
know what I'll be going for.
Let's
I
remember
know
and-
too, but I'm afraid someone else will take
The
it.
first Alien vs. Predator. He acted in English and was so ashamed. Character in the day. Huh. All right, here we go. Illithid Sid is sharing, and he has... Mine is easy. Some of you may disagree, but you can't deny the popularity of this game. Arrived in 2011 with several expansions. The World Eater. The World Eater. Wait, what game?
Alduin, the World Eater.
Oh, okay. Alduin. I was thinking D&D. There was a similar one in the movie there. All right, guys. Any thoughts on Alduin?
He is an interesting character. Not my most favorite video game dragon, or dragon period, but he's pretty cool.
Are we talking about the same character?
Yes, Alduin, the big black dragon from Skyrim.
Oh, thank God.
How do you guys like the
Who are you
old...
thinking of?
We'll take that when it's my turn.
Hmm. How do you guys like the overall design of Alduin? Hold on, Corpse. Corpse, if you can, copy all that and delete it, so when I call you can post that again. So,
no worries.
speaking of Alduin...
My personal opinion on Alduin.
Cool, thanks,
he's,
Corpse.
He's kind of generic looking, but it's a good design, just a bit generic.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with Gargamel on that.
Skyrim overall is a great game, though,
Yeah.
and there are a lot of really interesting, monsters in it. It's
Pro
just that none of
says-
them play as big a role in Skyrim as Alduin does. At least,
Yeah.
if you just playing the main game.
Pro says not a
without
fan,
expansion packs.
has interesting lore,
Well,
but
I'm kind of a fan in that I think he's okay. It just wouldn't be my monster of the year or my monster of the decade.
sure. So Pro Crastatron says not a fan. Has interesting lore, but Bethesda's piss poor presentation equates to Alduin being bland as fuck. I sort of agree. I think overall, like the silhouette of Alduin, I like it. He's very spiny. He's very sharp edged, right everywhere. But what I don't like is how it's all one toned, one colored. Actually, not just one colored, it's one toned. You don't even get different like shades. You just get this one single color, and it makes it very bland. Every horn looks the same like any fleshy part of the body. It just looks like it's all one uniform textured skin cover on this creature, which can be realistic, but for a video game and, you know, a big dragon and trying to change him from the other ones, that's probably not the best way to go. There should be at least some tone changes and things like that.
50 Shades of
Not just
Dragon
more
here with,
spiky points, you know? That doesn't make something necessarily that much better if you just add more spines. So I kind of agree. I'll talk more as a character, Arthur. Yeah, I get that too. But yeah, I'm talking even more physically. So overall, I think he could have had a lot more impact, especially with a game like an Elder Scrolls game, a game that they put so much work and other things in. Let's see, copies sold. He still gets popular vote. No game close. Yeah, for sure. Totally misses the point. So yeah. So Pro, you mentioned the lore aspect. That's where you're talking about Darth, and I'm talking just physical aspect. What else do you guys think? I mean, especially when you compare with other major game dragons, like even Witcher 2, I believe.
There's only one dragon in the, and it's not in The Witcher 3.
So yeah, definitely could have been a lot more epic and interesting. I don't even remember much of the whole thing with Skyrim. I remember more of the ending of Oblivion than Skyrim, so that says a lot about the lore as well. With your tail. All right, guys.
Personally, the most iconic video game dragon of the decade for me, I would have to say Deathwing.
I haven't even heard of Deathwing.
I don't believe you.
Okay, if I sell World of Warcraft, does that help you?
Well, I was playing World of Warcraft, but I wasn't able to get that much into it because it didn't want to pay for like it monthly because I wasn't making
Makes sense.
at the time,
Makes sense.
and so I kind of quit.
I mean, well, I don't think I can help you more, but say that a giant fucking huge dragon, very iconic.
Alrighty, with that, we'll move on and spin the wheel again. Let's see, that was good. Everything's up to date, I believe. Here we go. We got Jim, PF, Jono, Darth, Chris, and C. C, it is your turn. Let us know
most
which
excellent.
monster impacted
It
you.
is. I was torn between the Skeksis, but they didn't really leave that big of an impact. And Godzilla, but we already had Shin Godzilla, so you know, legendary is Godzilla this one, so it was
No,
nice. But I think I'll have to go with something that is returning from my childhood of all things. This little video will put it very, very kindly what I'm talking about. Spyro was not originally made in this decade, but he made a return, so yay! For those that does not know, for those people that does not know, Spyro is a little purple dragon that we play in the name named after him, Spyro the Dragon. And,
Yeah.
and there was a long series about Spyro and how his adventures and. But hey, I'm saying that this little dragon reignited. Haha, that's the name of the series, the trilogy. The first trilogy being the original games. Then there was some really off the map bad ones. Not all of them, but there was a really bad one that really put me off, and just suddenly it got rebooted, and then we had Skylanders, of which I do not approve. I'm a grumpy old man, I'm afraid.
I saw a couple episodes of a show based on Skylanders, and fun.
I didn't. I just know that. Cool.
That's right, Pro. Get Griff over here. I'm kind of surprised to hear Spyro being mentioned as a monster of a decade. I would expect maybe of a year, but that shows how much I know about Spyro.
Spyro is definitely part of my childhood, if for no other reason. I just like dragons, and this little fire-breathing bugger has just so happened to be one of the most influential things for my childhood.
I suppose I should ask Arthur, does the monster we're talking of have to have come out during this decade, or do we have to have experienced it during this decade?
mean,
no, so
the
it's not personal.
reanimation.
It's not that personal. It would be what has been released in that decade.
And I dare
So
say,
released in the decade.
Yeah. Alrighty. Anybody else have anything to share on Spyro?
for those people that doesn't know, it's just such a nice blast from the past.
Yeah, I heard the revamp was good. How do you feel comparing it to the original game? See.
I haven't personally played it myself, but what I see, it's literally a HD remake of the entire series,
Okay.
which is great.
Right,
and
right.
It's added so much more, what's it called, life to it.
I only played the one with the golem. What was it called? Like Dawn of the Dragon or something.
Okay.
Well, there was a second series, but this wasn't revamped in this decade, so
Revamped. I kind of like these revamps. It's better than making the continuation, especially if our technology has changed so much. And definitely 20, 30 years from an original game's release is a good time to do such a release. I don't mind those. With movies, it's trickier. It seems to be less so with, or less so critical with video games. What do you say there, Pro? All right, guys. If nobody has anything else to share, so we have how many dragons is that so far?
Well,
I think
video
2 dragons.
games.
So
So I
far.
meant to say this
Yep.
a moment ago, but I had trouble getting to the. I had to de-silence it. I had to turn the mic back on. But I meant to say that video games. The reason why people I don't think mind video game remakes as much is because video games are more about gameplay than they are about story.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, they can have like really nice stories, but they are mostly about gameplay. Because you can have like a really good story in a video game, and it'll still be a horrible game if the gameplay is horrible.
Right.
that's a
That
good.
is fair.
Indeed. Louis over on YouTube, welcome. He mentioned The Witcher, and that's a question actually I had. Since the Witcher series was released on Netflix, my question is for you guys, if you know this. If not, I can just look it up after or whatever. Was the whole series released at one time, like they did with Stranger Things,
Yes.
or
Yeah.
they did?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
awesome, cool. Then I'm
Yeah,
gonna
all the episodes are available.
I'll be grabbing that soon. Just got to finish up with Stranger Things here. Watching season 3 of Stranger Things. I'm on the last 2 or
How is
3
it?
episodes.
Oh, is it?
It's good. It's good. Who here?
I watched season 3 with a couple of friends,
Okay.
and me and one of said friends, because of how many, let's say, less intelligent things happened, we would take a shot of liquor. We downed a half-a-liter bottle.
Interesting. Although the more you're downing that bottle, the more your mind is changing on what is intelligent in the movie.
Yes, it became
So that's
far
not
more
fair.
intelligent when we were getting more and more drunk.
So, I do like it actually. It did it so far, and I don't think it will because I'm already so far in the season. It doesn't have any episodes like season 2 had with the kind of side episode with the other kind of underdog superhero kind of thing. I know a lot of people didn't like that episode. It doesn't have anything like that. It's
Well, I don't think it does have that because there's not one episode that's devoted to a single character like that.
mhm.
And season 3 of Stranger Things, I know Arthur's gonna hate me on. Stranger Things is really good, and I think that when you're done watching the 3rd season, you should make sure you stay for the post-credit scene because there is a returning character that you're gonna want to see.
Nice. So
And also, that one episode
Mhm.
in Stranger Things season 2, that was absolutely necessary because there was things that would not have made sense if they didn't include
True, true. I didn't mind it personally.
People would
I'm
have been
okay with
wondering
it.
why is what was it with that one girl at the beginning? They would have kept asking, and they would have kept expecting it to appear in season 3 if they didn't do that in season 2.
Right. Yeah. Personally, yeah, I didn't mind any of that. Just talking of from what I heard. So Gargamel, how real quick, how would you rate or how would you place the seasons of Stranger Things? Which one would be your favorite to worst?
My favorite one would probably be season 1, and then my second favorite one would probably be season 3, and then season 2. My third favorite.
Cool. Yeah, I think I'm in the same boat. Season 1, probably the top. I mean, it is the first one that gets you in, and then the latest one, season 3 that I'm watching, I'm actually really liking. I'm liking the monster, what they're doing with it. It's very, I'll just say gory. It's a gore fest, but
Yeah,
a
it
different
is.
kind of gore fest. It's got a lot of body horror. And then season 2 last. So yeah, season 3 I'm really enjoying actually. Even though everybody's a bit more grown up, the kids and stuff, they did it pretty awesome. I'm actually impressed with the Duffer Brothers and what they've done, keeping it interesting and unique of a series. Yeah, kudos on that. All right, guys. Sorry for that sidetrack. Let's spin the wheel. Let's see who else gets freed. So thank you, C, for sharing Spyro. I wonder what Griffo's would be for the decade. I wonder if she would agree that Spyro was the most impactful for her. All right, here we go. Because we know that Phoenix Griffin is also a big fan of Spyro. That's why I mentioned that. JMPF, Jono, it's your turn.
Oh boy. Okay, actually, I won't, stop on a single monster, but rather have a few more. I think like 3 or 4. I don't know. I still have 2
Okay.
because it was those that had a very huge impact on me. The first one, I don't even know um, if it's countable as a monster, but I still love him. So can I copy it? Maybe. It's Richard from the Hotline Miami series. I mean, he is kind of hard to describe because he technically is just a man with a rooster mask, but in the second game, especially, he becomes a bringer of death. Every time he appears, the said character dies. It's funny that we are doing this Monstercast today because today is the day in the game where the world ends. It's a huge spoiler, but the game is pretty old. So yeah, Richard, the first one. Then we have the second one. That's still from a video game. I think it was probably the one that had the most impact on me because of our original and everything, and it's the lesson from The Witcher 3
Nice.
because I started playing the game when I started getting into Agalok, so deer, nature, pantheism, and shit. Um, so yeah, finding an enemy that has all these things tied together really say that okay, this is my favorite monster in the game. And the last one is well, it's kind of easy to guess, and it's probably for the same reason as Pro, and it's legendary Godzilla, not um, because simply in 2014 when I went watching the movie, that was the thing that said, okay, I love Godzilla, and so if I am the Godzilla nerd I am today, it's because of Godzilla 2014 and Shin Godzilla as well. So yeah,
Interesting.
here
So
it is.
2014 is the one that really hit you.
Yeah. Well, it's because I mean I've been technically a Godzilla fan since 2004/5 because of Godzilla Saved the Earth and the 1998 movie. But yeah, I just knew the character. I wasn't aware of all the kaiju's lore and shit. Then I went watching Godzilla 2014 and I said, oh, okay, the character is interesting. Let's dig it
Right.
up more. Then I watched Shin Godzilla when it came out, and the rest is
Nice.
well, you know the rest.
How old were you at the time of 2014's release?
13.
13. Okay. So, yeah, definitely. That'll have more impact as well.
I think I
I,
better be going now, guys. I'll see you later.
All right.
All right.
have a good time.
Thanks
Okay,
for
bye.
stopping by, Gargamel. Thanks for sharing.
Bye. Have a nice day, guys.
You too, man. Happy New Year. Yes, and next, just a heads up, next discussion is going to be scary winter monsters. We'll continue with that one. So for anybody that's going to leave early, that's how it's going to be. Anybody want to add anything to Jono's 3 shares? Which one would you guys... I'm assuming Godzilla, but which one would you guys say was the most impactful to you out of those 3?
I'm
Meh,
gonna have to say Godzilla too. Legendary's Godzilla.
sure.
Yeah. Legendary's Godzilla truly was a giant impact on a running.
Ha,
And I
ha.
just love the music from the second movie. Just
Indeed.
blew me away. Just it made it feel as big as it looked.
Yep.
Which
They did a
I'm
good
sad
job
said.
with that stuff, for sure. Yeah, obviously thought so, as the other ones are video games, and Godzilla movies, or movies as a whole, have more impact because more people experience them than necessarily games, depending on the group. Okay, moving onward. He thick. Yes, he was. They're all thick, Jono. Once
you
there's a
thick also?
Godzilla that's not thick, then that's not Godzilla.
I mean, let's be honest. Godzilla probably would be a lot more able to support its own weight by, say,
Right.
merit of being massive.
I
Therefore,
don't think even the first Godzilla was able to. I don't think any kaiju is able to witness its own weight.
right.
Yeah.
Well, knowingly
I
or
mean,
not
that is-
knowingly, the Japanese created a monster that was actually more realistic in a sense because of that thickness. So, again, monster kudos to
The
Japan.
suits at least would have to be able to support it.
The suits were like 200
Right.
kilos.
And that was the whole reason why they created that way. Probably not because of their understanding of gravity and such. So, either way.
It was a giant monster that
It
crawled
worked
out
out.
of the sea.
All right, spinning that wheel. Who just presented? That was Jono. Got you off the wheel. You are free, Jono. You can go play your guitar.
No, I'm going to play Red Dead Redemption 2.
Okay. Here we go.
I'm just cowboying. I'm listening to you. of
Darth
course.
Chris Dio. Dio, you are free. You can get off the wheel of torture if you're still alive. If you want to share anything, Dio, go ahead. Monsters of the Decade. If not, then please say so. Or we'll give you a 20-second rule of silence. Finish your essays. He's
Wah.
talking. He's typing. All right. He's amphibious. Being amphibious. Aquatic reptile. All that leg mass. Interesting. Chonky boy. Chonky's a great word. I'm going to have to check out Chonky on Google. Google has this great little thing that when you type in a word, I don't know if you guys ever noticed that, probably. But when you type in a word, like see the meaning or whatever, it also shows you the popularity of that word through the ages, like through all the years, which is really fascinating. So something like chonky, I'm sure there's just a single spike in the last maybe 2 years if you look at that chart, but it'd be interesting to take a look at that. If anybody can screenshot that and bring it over here, be a nice little fill to the silence of waiting on Dio. I'm bringing my laptop, so I can't finish it. It's almost done. What else is he talking about? When Chonky met Monkey. Godzilla vs. Kong. Now, Godzilla vs. Kong is coming out this year, right?
Next year, and
I mean next year. Sorry.
yeah, it was originally scheduled for March, but it's being pushed back for November.
Okay.
I mean,
Huh.
I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be the fight of the decade. The next one, at least.
It should be
That is
fun.
true.
It should
That
be
is true.
fun. I think after the winter episode, I think what we should do is most anticipated monsters of the year. Since we didn't do a year review of monsters for the last year, I think we should do a most anticipated. And then we can talk about all the upcoming movies and video games and such. Board games too. They are welcome. Still going nuts with that. All right, Dio says, Monster of the Decade. Well, that one that had the most impact on me was Dio, I guess. That's true. I could see that, Dio.
Yeah.
Well, Dio, would it be Piccolo or Dio? Because Piccolo, I don't know when Piccolo kind of hit you. Piccolo's been around before the decade, but he might have been quite impactful, probably the most impactful on you out of Piccolo's impactedness during that decade, although Dio still may have beat him. So I guess the question is, Dio, did Piccolo really impact you from 2010, or was that maybe before? So maybe Piccolo would be the one for the previous decade, and for last decade, it was Dio. Let's just say that, since you're already starting to freak out. I'm putting the pressure on you, Dio. I'm sorry. He's wiping his head with bacon. Alrighty. Let's see what you guys have to say here. Has anybody picked? I like what Louis said. I'll put Louis fourth here since he didn't really present anything with it, and he gave it away. And I think it's a great one. He said, has anybody picked the Necromorphs for the Monster of the Decade? Because if they haven't, then I pick them. And I think that's pretty damn awesome. What do you guys think?
Well, they're cool. I know Pro really likes.
Yeah.
That space.
Respect to the Necromorph. Definitely, I think Necromorphs are, especially in video games. At this point, if you play video games, you probably know what a Necromorph is. I know I didn't used to, particularly till I made the video, but of course their names started popping up more and more. But that's a pretty cool monster design that is very original to the game, and more people know it. I mean, what other maybe monster species of modern fiction has had that strong of an influence? There's going to be some, but I mean, you can't use things like orcs, goblins, trolls. We're talking something new and specific.
I mean, those things were created from a long time before. I mean, I don't know if we could call her, what's it called? The Marvel Cinematic Universe, maybe. There's some monsters in there, but I don't quite see that.
Right, but
They
those
aren't
were
really that original.
created
I mean, they're not
mostly
quite
far before.
monsters.
Yeah. So yeah, big influence from that. Oh, well, we got like Stranger Things. We have the Demogorgon. Suddenly people know of the Demogorgon, and I don't speak of the D&D one. But that's probably still lesser known than Necromorphs. Maybe, because now we're competing TV with video games, and TV still is a bigger genre. All right, let's move on. I think the Necromorphs is an excellent choice, though. I could definitely see that, Louis. So thank you, Dio, for sharing. I still need to check out that anime, but I still need to check out a lot of things, so I'm going to stop being repetitive with that. 2 came out in 11. Well, yes, sadly forgot about them. I would have added them too if I remembered, says Pro. What did
You're
Pro
right.
choose? Ah, yes, Shin Godzilla. Yeah, both good choices. A necromorphish bacteria impacting Shin Godzilla. Yeah, that's intense. All right, we're spinning. We got 4 people left. I think that's correct. If not, let me know. But we got Chris, Corpse, JMPF, and Darth. 3, 2, 1.
Oh boy.
Chris,
The
Corpse,
stakes
JMPF,
have never been
and
higher.
Darth. Phoenix. It is your turn. Are you there, Darth? He's there. He's typing. Let's see. Any guesses for what Darth is going to bring up?
Who knows?
Plague
I
Bearer?
think
Like Doctor?
SCP, probably.
SCP? Yep. Good. Good guess there. So we got Plague Doctor or some SCP. Let's
Vabbè.
see. Chris posting a JoJo meme.
C'era il volo e abbiamo lo zaino. Stato qui in bar-
It's a natural. Sure, Raincrawler. I'll put your... Actually, share anytime, Raincrawler.
Vabbè, vabbè.
Just write it out in the YouTube comments, though, so I don't spoil your message to me on Discord for the next Monstercast, if that made sense. We're still waiting on Darth. Did anybody give or receive any wonderful presents?
No, not this year, unfortunately. I mean,
Aw.
I bought myself a vinyl, but that's it.
You bought yourself a vinyl.
Yeah.
Cool. Which one?
Woods of Ypres, fifth and last album.
How much do those go for? Because that's a vinyl for a more newer
Well,
album,
it's
right?
from 2011. I
Okay.
got it for 20 euros, but it's the standard black vinyl.
Nice.
So yeah,
That's not.
I mean,
That's
I have vinyl in my collection that are like
Very
200 euros worth.
not too expensive then. Yeah, obviously much cheaper than vinyls of much older vinyls
Well,
releases.
yeah. For example, Agalloch albums are much more expensive. And
Yeah. What's your most expensive vinyl that you own?
well, I own an album that's usually on sale 3 or 500 euros. I even saw one for like 2,000 euros, but I got it for 80 euros. So that's like piece price for it.
Okay.
When I saw it at a record convention, I was like, okay, I must get this. And it's Dimmu Borgir's second album, first press. Actually, the only
Gotcha.
press that's available.
It's not bad. Darth
I
said
also
he wants to share later. Maybe he doesn't feel good right now, so that's fine. We're going to continue. We're going to spin that wheel again. Chris, Corpse, JMPF, Darth. We'll spin it again. It really wants you to go, Darth. Okay, here we go. JMPF. Go ahead and let us know what yours is. Mi amigo. Let's see if it's an SCP. Any guesses?
I'm sorry, I don't have anything.
You don't have anything? Okay. All right. Nothing
My
major.
mind is totally blank.
It's blank today. No worries. I think we all feel a little blank. I don't know. It's been a while. We just have passed a certain time of year. So I can understand it. Let's continue then. It's all because of the head, the isolated head dog head head. That's why Pro won't talk. All right, Corpse. It is your turn for the first time. Go ahead and repost what you shared earlier. Let's take a read. If you're there, Corpse, if you hear me. I'm going to read, meanwhile, what Raincrawler said. He said, only by design, the creature from Host, the Demogorgon, the Ritual Monster, creature, and Hellboy del Toro, because of the lore. Nice. Those are good choices. I think one of them is not of the decade, though. I think the Host. The Host was, if you're talking...
The Host is from 2008, I think.
Oh, okay. I was thinking Host or something like that, the Japanese movie, because that's like an early 2000.
Korean movie. Yeah, I think it's 2008.
Wait, really?
The Host.
Might be 2007.
The Host movie.
Let me see.
Yeah, it's from 2006.
2006. Okay, nice. I thought it was like 2003. Okay, so it isn't from the last decade then. But the rest are the Ritual Creature, that was cool. Hellboy, Del Toro's. Del Toro's Hellboys, were those in the last decade? I think at least the last one was, for sure. Still waiting on Corpse. Corpse. Let's, how can we... I know they have something ready. Well, we'll just move on to the next person if Corpse comes back. We'll let them know if anybody can ping them or send them a message or something. Via messenger. Okay, sent info via messenger. Let me see, Louis, what you got for me. All right, checking out Louis' message. Louis said more about the necromorphs. That's quite a write-up, Louis. That's a big... Okay, you copy and pasted there, Louis. You had to. Next. Okay, so he told me about the necromorphs. Sole purpose is to acquire more bodies to convert and spread the infection. Yep. Yeah, okay, so he pasted all that, and then he gave me a nice little image compilation. All right, well, we're going to move on. We all pretty much know at this point what a necromorph is. And I've beat the subject to death with my all about video. Or hopefully.
Oh yeah, here is Arthur spamming his own channel here.
Although you cannot, of course, it's the Monster Hood. But of course you can't beat a necromorph to death. It just can't happen. So I guess I can make more videos in the future on them.
Technically you can, but not all people have the necessary dedication to it.
Ooh. Well, we can beat a Brother Moon. Or, yeah, we can beat a Brother Moon to death. And if there's no other one nearby, then technically, yeah, you can beat them all to death. Moving on.
1, 2, 3, are you slapping?
Nice. What did you post here? Did you post the graph of what I was talking about? Lithid. What is that? Actually, I don't know what that is. Yes, that is chonky. Thank you, Lithid Sid. He posted the usage of the word chonky. So, chunky. And it's not chunky, it's chonky. That's weird. It's actually been used in the 1940s, 1950s. It had a high point. It dropped down. It went back up in the 1980s, and then 2000 it's had a huge spike. Okay, so it's been used a lot more than I thought. Thank you, Lithid. I learned something more that's quite useless and takes up space in my brain from useful things. So, success. I belong in the Monster Hood. I'm not an adult. Okay, continuing. Corpse, come on. Wake up. All right. And so finally we have Chris. We're going to wait on Darth and Corpse. So, Chris, it is your turn.
All right. And so again, just to clarify, it has to be something that was created in this decade. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, well, in that case, I'm gonna have to first start off with a bit of a story because during this decade, I learned of many new monsters, many lovely monsters. However, by far, the one that impacted me the most, it was not created in this decade. It is an oldie that has managed to persevere through a time and is glorious, which I have displayed on over here a lot. I've kind of become famous for it. That would be these Skaven from Warhammer.
Yes.
These particular monsters are just by far the thing that has impacted me the most in terms of
I
monsters
mean, no
in the last
offense,
decade.
Chris, but it's kind of it's a tiny bit disturbing when you say that.
It's only recently. I still remember how I was pretty young when I learned of it. I think it was like Arch Warhammer had 30,000 subscribers when I first started watching his videos and got introduced to this Skaven. And he basically managed to win me over with them as a majority. However, if we have to talk specifically about a creature that created in this decade, then I would have to specifically give it to the Skaven Storm Fiends. The one good thing the end times actually brought us, in terms of new stuff, which are rat ogres, the best pet, at least in my opinion, that you can get.
Half ogre, half rat. A lot of. No, I don't want that. Please keep it away from me.
I'll take all the rat ogres. And these ones are dressed in power armor and have Gatling guns and flamethrowers that fire out toxic magic at you. So you got all the benefits of the rat ogre and many, many others added on top through the mixed engineering of Clan Molder and Clan Scryer. And this creature, just looking at it, fills me with delight. It makes me happy.
I think
To
any
know
normal
that it
person
exists.
should just look at it and feel terror and despair. Overcome them as what they see and they are up against.
Now that's adorable. Very, very adorable.
Well, I certainly found a newfound respect because of you sharing all this info in the past Monstercasts on the Skaven, Chris, as well as all you other guys, as well as Z, for example, on the Necromorphs. But I think the
Necrons.
Necrons, not Necromorphs.
Very important difference.
It is.
One of them is reanimated corpses. The other one is something very dangerous and
It'd be
much
great
more.
seeing them go against each other.
I thought they weren't just the Necrons weren't just reanimated corpses.
Fuck off, you absolute trash rat.
I am a rat. Yes.
I think personally the Skaven just speak to me even more though, because of the monstrosity that they are. Anyway, go on, Chris.
Well, at least you acknowledged it.
So yes,
Just kidding, Chris.
It's perfectly fine. It's all fun and games here. We're all friends. Really, like it is possible, but I just can't explain it. In the same vein that when I see Pikachu, I cannot explain why, but my gut and my entire being just goes, I don't like this. Remove this from my sight.
It is a
When I see
rodent,
Skaven,
Chris. It's an
I am
electric
aware.
rodent. What if it was a Skaven Pikachu?
It's not realistic enough.
I would not like that because I can't. It has got to be the one rodent I don't like, and I don't know why. So when I see it, my entire being just goes, "Nope, remove this from my sight," without explaining the reason. But when I
I'm
see
sorry,
this Skaven,
Chris, but
I just get this feeling of, "I like this.
Hmm.
Bring me more. It is adorable." And I'm just, they enthralled me just with being what they are. I don't know why. But then when you delve deeper into their society, what they are, they're just basically the worst of humanity, exemplified to such an extent that it's funny. And like
comical even.
yes, and just on a deeper level, you see how horrible we could have turned out, but yet there is benefits to. Okay,
Puts
I
things
can
into
appreciate-
perspective.
I can appreciate that image, Procrastitron. But it just shows what humanity could have been. It's so horrifying. So when you see that we're not fallen that far, it gives you that glimmer of hope for real life. I think we could say. And on the side of inside, every human loves of violence and nastiness to some extent, but we keep it bottled up. And I think this game is just an amazing outlet for that. Just seeing all of the nastiness that they're capable of just brings this kind of infectious joy on the inside. And they just left the biggest impact as monsters to me this decade, as this is the decade I actually got into Warhammer.
Nice. What year was that about, Chris, and how old were you?
I think it was like 2012, maybe 2013. So 6 years ago. So when I was between the ages of 15 and 16.
So pretty much when you heard of Warhammer, you heard of the Skaven, or did you know about Warhammer for quite some time before you discovered them?
Actually, I hadn't even heard of Warhammer. And then people in the circles that I was currently in at the time mentioned it once and recommended that I check out a lore video on Warhammer from a particular channel called Arch Warhammer. Hello, Arch. Um, and I did, and Z can attest to this, as he has on oftentimes interacted with the person. He's a bit of a snob, a snarky cunt, one might even say, but he does it in such an adorable way that it's right up my alley. The correct amount and type of asshole that just amuses me to no end.
I just thought it was humor, but fair enough, Chris. I will indulge your fancy of.
And you could
I
say
don't
that Arch
disagree
himself.
entirely, so.
I have not spoken a lie since we've been talking years. And it's a great part of a great deal is also him that factored into this, as his presentation sold them really well to me. But even when I started delving into it on my own, they just an adorable bunch of horrifying things that amuse me to no end.
Nice.
And specifically among them to fit in with just things released in this decade, the Storm Fiends. They are an exemplification of everything I find awesome about this cave and horrible, dim, just disgustingly terrifying, yet just so fucking cool. It's amazing.
They are cool. See, from your end, wouldn't the Necrons then be your monster of the decade, or were you aware of them before that?
I weren't fully aware of them, but if I were to mention the Necrons, I wouldn't stop. So,
Sure.
You
So
know-
you would say that would definitely beat Spyro for your monster of the decade, wouldn't you?
most definitely, but I wanted something more people could not do. I mean, if I
Predict.
start talking about Necrons again, I might even scare a few people away.
Nice. Cool. Right on, guys. Corpse, if you can hear me, it's been your turn. Corpse. And Darth. Darth has shared. Let's check out what Darth is speaking of. My monster of the decade who impacted me the most would be Springtrap from Five Nights at Freddy's 3, because I began with him to draw monsters, what really impacted my life to the better, both in my home and at school. It wasn't an easy time, but the drawing made it better. That's a nice story, actually. That's a little bit more personal. So Springtrap of Five Nights at Freddy's, not only because of the creature that it was, but the impact that it had on Darth creatively as he started drawing that character, and which, art itself impacted his life very positively and got him through some tough times. So that's awesome. Art can certainly do that. All right. Corpse. Corpse isn't answering. I'm going to call Corpse. Let's send him a phone call. And then 3, 2, 1. Leave the call. Hopefully that sent him a message. All right, let's see what happens. So that seems everybody has shared. Let's see. Device. I guess from my end, I didn't have anything in particular. So, but it shouldn't have to be. It should be something that just hits you right in the head when you think about these years. So mine's going to be a little personal. It's going to have movie impact and such too, as this one is even prior to that decade, but different versions of it came out, like Godzilla, for instance. But for mine, I would have to say the most impactful, because of starting this channel and everything, was the werewolf. You've seen a lot of werewolf content on this video, on my channel. We have a lot of werewolf fans because of that, and that's why we've had more stuff. Beforehand, I was just a regular werewolf fan. I wasn't it wasn't that high of a monster, in my opinion, above others for me. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed some movies, but it wasn't that crazy. Once I started doing these lore videos and such, and seeing the reply on particularly 2, can you guys guess the other one? It's very easy to guess. It's very simple. I mean, it's very obvious. The first one, werewolf. What's the other one? It's a movie monster. Sci-fi movie. Come on, you guys got it. It's on the banner. It's everywhere. Nobody's speaking. It's the Xenomorph. That's been these two monsters have been very impactful for World of Monsters, the channel itself, which is my life. I started the channel 2015, so that's 5 years. So that's certainly in the last decade, and I have seen more werewolf stuff than I ever expected to or even cared to. So the werewolf, and I'd say the Xenomorph, impacted me the most because that's what, particularly, again, the werewolf made the channel jump, and we are here because of that reason, because of how viral a certain video went. We were able to build this channel and this community, so for sure that's going to have the most impact. Which werewolf of that decade, though? We've had a lot in that decade. We've had the Underworlds, right? We've had an Underworld. Oh yeah, we just had a recent one too, a couple years ago. We've had the remake of Wolfman, so you have all those. I think, Bad Moon was the previous decade. So a lot of influence from that. So at least it was a cool monster. And, well, obviously, there's not going to be not a cool monster that so many people find beloved. Godzilla, too. Godzilla's been around a long time. It wasn't until this decade, of course, from videos that I found a much deeper appreciation to it, especially learning about the history of the original movie and such. So a lot of stuff like that. I can keep going, but you guys know a lot of my history and such. But to pick one, I have to put the werewolf up there once again because it just makes sense. It's been so repetitive all over the World of Monsters. Is that really a surprise to anybody here? Oh shit.
Hello?
I think we got Arthur back.
Oh, that is bullshit.
Finally.
Nobody heard me. That was like
Hello.
5 straight minutes of talking and nobody heard me. That he'd even get recorded.
Nope.
I think... Wait, it didn't get on YouTube?
Nope. You were not
What
in the
the
conversation
fuck?
up until now.
We
God
were
damn it.
alone.
That's what I get for having 2 weeks off. I'm so sorry.
No worries. We were wondering a bit if.
Yeah, I
if
wonder
you were
what...
there.
Well, I guess we'll never know because not even that got recorded. Damn. Well, somehow Louis heard me, didn't he? Okay, so you guys on YouTube heard me. Okay, cool. So that makes sense. So for you guys on the Discord, I'm not going to repeat all that, but you guys can probably guess it because it had the most influence on my channel and therefore in my life. And I started the channel within the last decade.
Godzilla.
So by far, it is what? Come on, say it.
The Minotaur.
That's why you guys have been
If
so
it's a
quiet.
fucking ghoul.
There
I'm
was a
going
couple
to-
times during my whole spiel that I asked you guys a question, nobody answered it, and I was like, are they even listening to me? No, it's the werewolf. It's because of the werewolf. We are all here because of the werewolf. The whole channel is as big as God. We got the Monstercast. It's a video that went viral a long time ago. Sorry to you guys on YouTube. But that video changed my life,
Make one
and
interesting video.
therefore the werewolf changed my life. And there's been werewolves before in other decades, of course. It's not a new monster, but there have been great ones released within this decade as well. That influenced me. And they did influence me because one of the transformations I added to a video, and therefore that changed my life. So not just saying in any other way, well, no, it makes sense. It's not something that like I saw, like you guys explained today and grabbed you. It was by accident. I made a video, and I've always liked werewolves before, but it wasn't anything crazy. But when I started the channel, that viral video started everything. And Louis already guessed it because I was asking, but if you guys can guess the other monster that had one of the most influences on this channel, since you guys can actually hear me now. The werewolf...
Is it Necron?
Nope.
Bigfoot.
Nope. Huge influence.
Chupacabra?
It's very obvious because it's all over the channel too. It's on the bank.
Cyclops?
It's the Xenomorph.
I'm guessing Cyclops.
Not yet, but in a way, yeah. So it's the Xenomorph. That video and what I was talking to that you guys didn't hear me. The Xenomorphs, Godzilla. Godzilla, I knew a long time about Godzilla, but once I made that video, going into depth on the lore of it and the original movie, that really changed my perception. So quite a
Arthur's not
few.
a Godzilla nerd. He's just a loser. I am sure he only Godzilla and only shat on 2019 because he worships Gareth Edwards.
Yeah. So, quite a few monsters, obviously, but I don't know. The werewolf did some amazing things that I was not expecting for the channel and for myself, and cool. We'll see which one's next. There's a lot of other ones, but I'm not going to get into it. I guess I'll mention, since Chris brought it up, Bigfoot. That's been receiving a lot of interest lately, my video. And I'm glad to see it because I've been reading a lot of Bigfoot experiences. And that's what I was kind of hoping with the cryptozoology thing. I was hoping people would comment things. And I have received a lot of comments on Bigfoot experiences. And it's such a fascinating topic. Learned a lot, experienced a lot. Just really interesting. I think that one deserves respect for the naysayers and skeptics. I think Bigfoot is one out there that it really is interesting. So that's that. The rest of the stuff you can hear on YouTube if you ever rewatch this video. Thank you guys for hearing me over on YouTube. Let's see. You guys did say something here. All right. Is making YouTube. Wait, so what did you guys say here? Corpse, by the way, it's your turn. If you're there, still alive or undead, we welcome you.
I think she will make it.
Corpse speaking. Let's see. So we got
Is
crickets.
Corpse Bethany?
Hang on.
I don't think so.
No, she's not. Bethany is actually a separately online mistake of identity on my part. I apologize.
Legend has it Arthur has fans. Yeah, and Sid, I was thinking that's kind of funny that people, and I still get comments like every week that I'm a werewolf or I look like a werewolf. But it's starting to get weird because of one comment, whether it was sarcastic or not. That's stuff you got to watch out for. So you're going to get weirdos out there that actually believe in certain things, and then they're going to want proof, right?
We won't forget the dude.
And the best way to get proof of a werewolf or Bigfoot is by killing one, right? So I'm going to have to keep myself extra safe.
Oh no, Arthur wants to kill someone.
God damn it. Jono, you are misinterpreting everything.
Shut up, Arthur.
I'm going to have to put a translator up. So, okay.
Good thing we don't know Arthur address.
What's that, GMPF? This werewolf is twisted as heck. Easy to look at. If you look at McFarlane's Silver Bullet Proof Werewolf, I'm gonna send the pic. Cool, I'll check it out. Okay, so that's that. It kind of sucks that all happened, but there's got to be a first. If it can happen, it will. What is that saying? Forgot the original.
Murphy's Law?
There you go, Murphy's Law. And so it has. Does anybody have any last shares? Anything on their mind? I'm feeling drained now because of that moment. It's like working on a project in college, and then after 3 hours of working on it, the computer shuts down and you forgot to save.
Or like going on a 3 years relationship.
Oh crap!
Be left for nothing.
Poor John.
I can
Feeling shit
relate
every day
painfully a
of
lot
your
on that.
miserable life.
It's all right, Jono. There's a lot of things in life. It'll just
Yeah.
take a little bit of time for you to find them again. Happens to all of us. But if anything, one thing we should have learned in this Monstercast, because of Darth, actually, shout out to Darth, is that art can really help you through tough times. Art can really help you through tough times. So if you're having a tough time,
Yeah, that's why I make black metal
paint. Yeah,
records.
and you play guitar and all that, It can really help. It's very meditative. It's very reflective. It's very
Yeah, I like to shred.
helpful.
I shred.
All right, guys. Next Monstercast is going to be on winter, scariest winter monsters. Let's keep it to winter time. So not monsters that are just cold all the time, but something that comes
We all
out during
know
winter,
who
maybe
is
the
a
holidays.
scary winter monster.
They got to be scary.
Yeah, we all know who he is. His name starts with J.
What you talking about, Jono?
No, not me. The other one. The forbidden one.
Maybe if killed the
JMBF?
No, John Hogan.
John Hamm. Don't get into problems.
The man
Corpse
himself.
runs into a normal human. Evil. Okay. All right, guys. I feel like this is kind of a warm-up episode to the next year. I think we all needed this. I feel like we're all a little bit in slow motion. At least I feel that way.
Yeah, it's
Against the screw up.
been a strange
So
year.
let's
for
welcome, yes,
A long
let's welcome
But-
2020. We'll do the
Yeah.
winter episode since we'll still be in winter, and then we'll talk about most anticipated monsters. So that'll be an interesting one. It'll be a great prelude to the whole year.
Mm-hmm.
There we have it. Does anybody remember what Corpse shared in that post they deleted after? What the monster
The
was? Or
pale
anything?
man from Pan's Labyrinth.
Pale Man.
The Pale Man.
Gotcha. Okay. Nice. Okay, so we can discuss that too. If any of you take the thing, I swear. It's called. Okay, so Pan's Labyrinth. Big impact. Great movie in the last decade. And we had a few cool monsters, but definitely Pale Man. That was a big request for me to do a video, either a drawing or something on it. I don't even remember anymore. But the Pale Man. Anybody not know the Pale Man here?
I don't think I remember.
We'll get a picture of it for you right away. Very cool concept. Great work by Del Toro. Here's a
Del Toro
picture
is a chat.
of the action figure. I should make that. Oh, shit. Come on. Why I want it post. Paste. Arthur, how do you know my nickname? What, Pale Man? Because we're all pale men here and women. So there you go.
That
We
is
all
not
are
true. We
In the
have seen
shadow
here.
our pale companion.
Zeke's a pale man. Aren't you, Zeke?
Arthur, do you want to be my pale companion?
I'm not sure, Jono. I'm not sure. With that face looking at me, I'm not sure with any question you ask me. I'll have to think about it. So, C, do you remember the Pale Man from
No,
Pan's Labyrinth? So you haven't seen the
I
movie?
do not.
Puts eyeballs into his palms and then can see through them. What was his ability? Well, he eats people. Creative Equinox. What are you talking? Okay, so Pro was making that joke, I guess. That's sexy. I want that physique. It is a pretty hot physique. There you go.
No.
Pale Man. Pretty influential creature. I would say the Pale Man is on par with the Demogorgon. They'd be a great battle off. I'm sure the Demogorgon would win, but very influential. Great designs. But there's been a lot. There's been a lot in this decade. Hellboy is a big one for the last decade. That did get mentioned. There's been a lot. Any other highlights of the decade, guys, that you can mention? Just honorable mentions. Something to throw out. It's been a long time, 10 years.
I think I have it.
Call anything more special.
I
Let's
think
see
I have
what
it.
other
It's-
movies came
well,
out.
It was kind of a niche monster.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't that famous. I never seen all these people talking about it.
Oh boy. That one was influential.
Arthur, you should
Bro,
stop
that's what I
using
was thinking.
Snapchat filters.
That's
It's a
nightmare
joke.
stuff.
That's just something I do for you guys to cut at, but I really don't do shit like that much.
No, I'm sure.
Let's see. I'm trying to think what else. 10 years is a lot, and it's enough to forget a lot of stuff. One thing I did enjoy from our art contest was last year's art contest. Previous year's art contest, jeez. Was the Venom Predator female compilation. That was a pretty cool concept. I just remember because I'm looking at the drawing on my table from one of the winners or submitters. That was a pretty cool
I
concept.
need to go check something. I might be back. I probably won't. I don't know.
We'll probably be done, see. I'm just rambling. We'll
Is
probably
that-
be done. Just rambling because I missed you guys. Anyway, I am
We all
done.
missed you, Arthur. We love you.
Aw, thank you. I love you all too. I mean it. We need to hear that once in a while, especially in this world, this cruel world. Did anybody have a hideous Christmas? One of those Christmases where the whole family argues and you got many moments of awkwardness. Obviously, I know what I'm talking about.
There's this stereotype in Italy. Younger generations always have to face, the right-wing, 70 years old relative, like the uncle who says, "Oh, I miss Mussolini," and then I have never been so proud of not having any right-leaning parent or relative. So yeah, no awkward moments,
Okay.
especially.
Okay, but how does right-leaning have to do anything to...
What, Chris?
How does being right-leaning have anything to do with
With?
Mussolini?
Well, fascism is right-leaning, but I mean, okay, it's time for.
Because he was... Yes, a bit of history. Mussolini was actually not
Well,
happy with how slow socialism created fascism from the bedrock of socialism.
Yeah, he started from the. Okay, but here it is. We call it historical right and historical left. And what is common known as the historical left in Italy was much more right-leaning than the actual right. So when you talk about Mussolini, Crispi, Giolitti, even though they are all considered left-leaning, they were much conservatives. So yeah, Mussolini comes from the Socialist Party, but
All right, guys, we're going to wrap
fascism
this up
comes from
slowly.
it. So
So you're in support of Mussolini, John. Was that what you said?
what?
You're in support of Mussolini?
No, I don't support Mussolini, and I will never do,
Okay.
because fascism fucking sucks. So
There you go. Good.
Basically, there are still some people, especially like 70 years old
Yeah.
people, who are like, oh no, all these immigrants and faggots, and there's no the real man anymore.
Right.
We all need children must have a dad and a mother. If there was Mussolini, he would have burned all these niggas and shit like that.
Okay.
Yeah, this is Italy today.
All right, guys. We can continue this one after. It's interesting you brought it up, Jono, because I had a moment with my father. So you guys know I visited my parents, and he was talking about some old stories, in Poland and stuff. So you have different sides of everything, but it was interesting hearing some things about my grandfather and such. Anybody else have any Christmas horrors or good times? If you did celebrate Christmas or anything different this time of year than usually? There have been many monsters over the years that come in many shapes, stretch abyss, so we shall hide a beast, and we truly live in world of... Ooh, that was beautiful, Louis. I'll read that out loud. Louis said, "There has been many monsters over the years. They come in many shapes and many sizes. The amount seems to stretch to the abyss. So be wary, for you're in the for in your shadow might hide a beast, and we truly live in a world of monsters. Huzzah, Louis. Thank you for that. That's a great ending for our chat today. All in all, I hope you guys had a good time. It's a weird time of year. I wouldn't say it's happy like all the music and movies push it to be. I find it quite the opposite at times. But make of it what you will. Take the experiences in, grow wiser, and come into the new year. I do enjoy the change of the year. It's just a number. It's numerical. But I do enjoy New Year's because you can set new goals, you can reflect, and we can obviously do that here together as well. So we'll be talking more on that once we cross that year. So for you guys, since 2020 is going to be hitting on Wednesday, I wish you guys a happy new year and put some thought into it. Put some moment. You don't have to rush yourself for the 1st of January. Give yourself some time, a few weeks even after the 1st of January, to really reflect on who you've been, what you've done in the last year, and what you're going to do in the next. More on that later. Thanks, guys, for being here. Any last words? Oh, a shout out to Cloverfield for 2018. Oh, that was 2008.
Yeah.
Okay, so never mind. No shout out.
Yeah, I would have, of course, mentioned Clover if he was from
For sure.
the deck. But yeah, I fucking love that movie.
We did have some
Clover.
great kaijus in
Clover is probably in my third favorite kaiju after Destroyer.
Oh,
and
nice.
Godzilla.
That's pretty high.
Yeah, I love him.
We did have Pacific Rim. I think that was the first Pacific Rim was pretty awesome. I did enjoy it, and I did enjoy the creature creations there, without a doubt. With every person leaving the MC, my urge to speak grows. I know, Pro. I know how it is. It's going to be year of the procrastinatron. Let's see.
Technically, no, it's going to be Year of the Rat. So.
That's
It's always
true.
No,
yeah.
Chris, it's always year of the.
It was the year of the porcadillo this year. So it's moving on to Chris's year. Chris, you're going to have a great year there. You're going to see rats everywhere.
I sure hope so.
Awesome. You should have a pet rat, Chris.
Pets. See, I live under a common roof. And
Gotcha.
Pets are not allowed.
Gotcha.
The closest thing to a pet I can have is my baby sister.
Slushy loving robot. Okay. So, goodbye on over in YouTube. Thank you for being here, Louis and Rain. This was a nice warm up. It was a little weird. It was a little strange. I'm feeling like my mindset's been somewhere else. I'm getting back in tune. So let's hope everything's going to work out. Thank you, everybody here. We had C earlier. We had a few people earlier. But we had Darth, Stick It Out All the Way, Illithid Sid, JMPF, Giano, Chris Chu.
Always here.
Corpse
Always
is somewhere
here.
out there, probably along with Griffo, and Pro. Thank you for sharing your most impactful creatures of the last decade. Pretty awesome. Pretty awesome consumption for the video once again. So, on my behalf, goodbye, everybody. These are my last words. You guys go ahead and say yours as well. Goodbye, everybody. Have a great week.
Next video one.
On behalf of Victor, don't fear the unknown. Seek it out, study it, understand it. To which I counter with, fear the unknown. Shoot it in the face with a shotgun.
Did you have a question, Jono?
When's the next video coming out?
Hopefully soon. It's not going to be. It's going to have some new elements to it, but not a new video as a whole. As I've been planning to make this a one video ahead of time. Otherwise, for completely new content, I'm just not sure right now. I'm working on a third project right now, and it's a bit overwhelming. But I'll do my best, and hopefully as soon as I get done with that, which may be in March, I'm going to hit World of Monsters hard. I'm going to World of Monster hard.
Nice. Best of luck to you, buddy.
Thanks, my brother. Thank you all.
Alright, I'm gonna be popping off, gentlemen. I wish you a lovely...
No more goodbyes?
Bye,
Love you
man.
all. Have an happy new year. Think of yourself when the time comes. Think that you're special in some way, and love yourself even when everything in the world seems dark.
Oh, that's the real
Love
Jono.
Echo.
And 3, 2,